Hi, I'm Heather. I attended our very first youth camp in 1989. It was a couple years ago. I was 13 years old. Do not do the math. A few things have changed in those years. Let me see. When we first went, we were not allowed to take any food, no snacks. We were not allowed to have any pop because pop is of the devil. What else? We had to wear t-shirts on top of our swimming suits, even though the girls and the boys swam separately. And let me see. I took a shower once with a snake in the shower. It's terrible. So a few things have changed. But there are some things that have not changed since 1989. The first is that we have a blast at camp. I cannot tell you how much fun we have. So if you're worried that your kids might or might not have fun, don't worry. They'll have a good time. But the other thing that has never changed is the way that God has spoken to every person who goes out to camp. Honestly, it was the very first time that I ever really heard God speak to my heart. And that has stuck with me my entire life. In fact, in 1989, one of the adults, I don't know who it was, prayed for every kid who was at camp. There were only about 30 of us, I think, at the most. But she prayed for all of us, and God gave her a scripture for each one of us. And I wrote that in my Bible. Yes, this is the same Bible that I had in 1989. But you can see, or maybe, I wrote it down, highlighted it, wrote down Youth Camp 1989. And it says, I am the Lord. I have called you in righteousness. I will also hold you by the hand and watch over you. Okay, you know me, I can't talk about Jesus without crying. I will appoint you as a covenant to the people and a light to the nations. I was 13 years old at a youth camp when God spoke that verse to me. And that verse has kept me my entire life. And every one of those years, and think about what has happened in any person's life in that number of years. And that scripture has kept me. The Lord told me that day, I've called you, Heather. I've appointed you. I will take hold of your hand. I'm going to keep you and get you to where you need to be so that you can be who you need to be. And that happens to every person who goes out there to camp. The Lord speaks to them. It doesn't matter how old they are, how young they are, whether or not they've been in the church for a million years, or whether or not they get dragged kicking and screaming to camp. The Lord speaks to them. And anytime that the Lord speaks, it's an eternal work. So get your kids to camp. Volunteer at camp. Do anything you can to support it because it is awesome.